Mari Dangerfield, and you're listening to Sound of Stylus, a podcast all about the Stylophone and the people who do cool things with it. This is part 2 of an episode featuring Maro Maro. So, we're going to get a bit technical here. I know you've kind of recommended the U-Green mini jack cables to me at one point. Do you have any other gear recommendations you'd like to share, or particular setups that you'd like to share with any aspiring stylophonists?
Yeah, these are the cables. Well, it's not like that I'm sponsored by them or anything. It's just that they are the most practical cables when you play two stylophones, especially. When you play one, they are also practical because, it's like this.
It's a flat edge, to plug in
flat
on the
edge.
side,
Yeah, these cables are great because when you place them both together, it's like, there is little space between them,
Yes.
and if it was a different one, then it would be like this, and it's getting harder because your eyes are getting even more cross-eyed than before, And by the way, there's another very important thing, because the cable is just like it's not the only thing needed, because the more important thing actually, and I will take maybe not the one that I'm using, but the one that I'm not using, is a DI box.
Right.
As you called it once, the phono output, which is the one with the cute headphones.
The headphones one on the 2000,
Yeah. I think that is the only way that you can take it to the whatever sound card you are having, and the only way to make it sound, actually make the sound come out of it when it's placed like entirely there, it's through a DI box. So I take it first to the DI box and then to the sound card, because when I don't go through the DI box, then it won't play. It will only play. I even made a video with Stylophone hacks, and I have to play it like that.
Yes, you have to put it out slightly.
But I don't know why it works like that. It's probably some faulty,
Yeah.
The DI box is for me even more important than the cable, because when you don't have the DI box, and it doesn't need to be expensive, it's like $15, and it's important because with the DI box it will be easier for you to just plug it in and play. So this is very important, and nowadays most of the sound cards are very good quality, the quality it's upped the game. And now, only the dirt cheap sound cards are maybe a bit wonky, but the middle range is $500 zlotys, so it's $100 or maybe a bit more. So the sound cards, like the Focusrite sound cards, or the PreSonus sound cards, or whatever, actually, are mostly okay. They sound fine. They can record sounds. I have the Focusrite Scarlett, the 4-input one, and it's great. It served me for
the same one. I think we've got
Really?
the same one. Yeah. Is it the 18i8 model?
Yeah, but I think that it's the same one because it's the 1.8. Yeah.
Amazing.
I think it's the same one.
What do you know?
Yeah. So it's the same actually card, and it works for me. So you don't need a high-end equipment to make the Stylophone sound plausible. So you just need some creativity and ideas to make it sound plausible, because so the technical ways of to record a Stylophone are actually, that's all. You just need a Stylophone, you just need a cable. Whatever cable, if you play it like me, so you need a cable that's flat top, right?
Flat edge,
flat-edged cable. You need a flat-edged cable if you play two at once. If you don't play two at once, you don't need a flat-edged cable.
I still love a flat-edged cable. I don't play two.
Yeah, okay.
It's a fantastic thing.
So you can actually benefit from it. And for me, at least, a DI box to make it easier to plug it in.
What's your DI box model, out of interest, for our listeners?
Well, I have a one DI box that's I think it's like a custom-made cheap DI box, and it's something like this.
Okay, DB01. It's direct box.
Yeah, it cost me $15, 50 zlotys. So it's the cheapest one that was on the Polish eBay. And the one that I'm using for the stylophones, it's a Palmer dual DI box. It's this one. They are like, you can't see the name, but it's like a Palmer DI box, and it's great. It worked for me for like 2 years, and it doesn't even have a scratch. Besides, it's built like a tank, so even if you drop it from a building, it will probably still work. So yeah, the DI box, and from the so from the DI box, I go with the cables to the Focusrite Scarlett, and voila, that's like the basic setup for a Stylophone recording session. Then it's when the magic happens, and first there comes the when I make a song, like I take, let's say, whatever, let's say a Metallica song. I first take the guitar and take a app program called Transcribe. It's Transcribe with an exclamation mark in the end. And this program will let you slow songs to actually any percentage value you want, So when I play a song like, let's say Enter Sandman, and I slow it down to like, 5%, then it will, be so slow that I can pick up all the notes, because, there are some fast solos, fast moments, and you can slow the song down to any rate you want, because like if I would have to transcribe songs the way I hear them when they are fast, you sometimes miss some notes, because when there's like a fast guitar solo, you just can't transcribe it properly, because there are sometimes
playing that
you're gonna
round and round.
You're gonna play it. You're gonna play it round and round. That's first, and second, you're gonna play it your own way and not entirely the way somebody played it. It's also it's very good, because you will develop your own style. But if I wanted to make a cover that's like perfect, I want to be the most faithful I can, And this program is very, very, very good for stuff like that. So I mostly transcribe it on the guitar, because it's easier for me, because like the Stylophone is mostly limited. So I transcribe it on the guitar, but I think about the Stylophone. So I think about chords that are like mostly with two sounds. But and there's another thing, because I told you about the whammy, and I told you that the whammy was like an extension of the Stylophone, and I started using two Stylophones to make it more fluent, make the chord extension more fluent. But there is a third way, is that you take a Stylophone, the melody one, the left hand one, the right hand is mostly intact, and you think about chords, or you think about chord placements that can be modified with the whammy. So you take the melody Stylophone, and if you like, so we have like a, let's say we have a E minor, right? So when I think about playing it on the Stylophone, then if I play it on 2, I play it like, or, so it's a minor, and when I want to play it more rich, I take the whammy and I set the whammy on the minor third degree. So I play an octave on the Stylophone, and this note is triggered with the whammy and is playing this. So I'm playing this on the Stylophone, and it's filling the chord by playing this. So I'm playing like this without the whammy, and this with the whammy. And the whammy, when you have the pedal, so it's it's down, up. Okay, so when it's down, it's a major, and when it's up, it's a minor. So I can easily play other chords by manipulating the whammy with my feet and changing, the pitch here. So like I play, and thanks to the whammy, I can do something like that, because the notes will be extended by the whammy. It's very technical, actually, and with this thing, you can actually play
a lot more
3-note chords, So the chord is called a triad. Yeah, I can play a triad actually. So you can play things like that. Yeah, it's like my secret weapon, and it's very easy actually to make. You just have to manipulate your feet well, and you can make a chord with 3 notes. So it's very cool. And when I make a cover, I always have to think how to place these chords to make it sound, because I can make even a chord like that, and the thing here is like a perfect fourth, and the whammy has a perfect fourth interval and a major third at the same place. So I will think how to make like things, and I can play things like that, or maybe I can play things like that, because here's like a major third and a perfect fourth, so it's playable on the whammy with this setting, and yeah, this is like as you called, a secret weapon. And I've used it in many songs. Like there's like a cover, the easiest one to spot it, it's a System of a Down, Chop Suey. You play the A note, or is it in the original it's probably G, because they are tuned lower. So one stylophone plays this, and the second one plays. Most people don't even use the harmonizer function in it, and I think that the harmonizer function is actually more fun than the actual pitch shifting, because it can make like the stylophone a actual stereo instrument. And it has another good function, and is again a very technical thing. It's the phase shifting, because it changes the phase. And this way, you can record more stylophones. You can fit more of them, because the phase is totally changed.
Oh, fantastic!
And you can fit more stylophones inside. So with a part like that, that's why I sometimes play riffs using double stylophones, and sometimes play riffs using the whammy, because as I said, the phase changes.
Yeah.
And you can fit more stylophones without the stuff, you can like fit this way. You can fit, as I said, like about I think 8 stylophones playing like almost the same thing, because like the stylophone has like the ones that I'm using has like the 3 presets, so it's like the bass, the middle, I can say the overdriven guitar, and the solo one. I consider them like that, because like the bass one is mostly used for the bass, the middle one is used for riffs, and the higher one is used for solos and vocals. And so you can play like 3 parts if playing the same note, 4 parts if playing one note different, if you get where I'm going with it. Then you have the vibrato setting. So you can have like now 8, like 8 solutions. And with the whammy, you can have even more, because the phase shifts again, So like when I play a melody, like let's say I will take the highest, the solo function, which sounds like this, then playing this and playing this with the vibrato on, can be played at the same time, and it won't mash up that much,
You have a very clean sound, and I can see why you've put a lot of work into the
because as a music producer and as a guitar player and a musician, I mostly work with cleaning the sound that I have and make it like the best there could be. So the best way that you can play the stylophones and make them sound the best, it's this way. You just have to see how many possibilities you have, and with these possibilities you have to work the best way you can, like that's practically it. And then there comes the beatbox with the beats and stuff. And here I can safely say that I'm a bit of a cheater, because most of the time I quantize this or just sample it and input it to the grid, because I learned to play this like the legit way. I can play some beats with it because it's playable, but it has such a poor register. It has so, poor samples that are playing in the wrong way in the wrong time that it's so time consuming if you want to just legit play this thing, that it's better to just sample it, arrange these samples,
the grid,
and then while making the video, you just play these things, because you can play it. It's not hard, but if you would play it, and then you would have to quantize, cut it, and, make it, so it would take a week, and when you make YouTube covers, you don't have a week. You have like, well, maybe you have a week, but you don't have a month like that. And if I would make like everything legit, play it like, and then edit it, then it would take a month to make a cover that's pretty much not worth making a month, So that's...
Do the same with the S1 as well? Would you
well, with the S1, I play it legit.
Oh, you do?
I play it like... the S1s and the normal stylophones, I play them legit. Eventually, when there's like a part that's not sounding so good, then I splice it and, make it to be more, in time, So that's the only thing I do sometimes when the riff is like... When you are like playing a Rammstein song or like a System of a Down or a Metallica song, then the riffs need to be, on point, very hard hitting. And tight. Tight. They need to be tight. That's the word. And to make it tight, you just need to, place it in the right place by hand, not by playing it, because it's practically impossible. Or you will have to just learn it for weeks, and maybe then you will have the perfect timing to play it, and I don't have weeks. I have a week, to make a cover or something like that. So maybe it's a bit of cheating here.
Not at all. I've done it too.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to say, that every music producer and every musician and every singer, guitar player, whatever player is doing this. And a quick last tip for somebody that wants to make. Last tip for bass, because the bass that's in the Stylophone, I didn't talk about EQing, compression and stuff, because it's just too much, This is like, and also it's like a thing that every person has his own approach. So the way I do it, some other person might say, this is stupid, and I agree, it might be stupid, because I just do it like my way, and somebody might do it his other way, just like you said. But with the bass, the Stylophone 2007 S1 bass is a bit, a bit crappy. And the way I make it better is by taking an octave pedal, a bass octave pedal. So it's like I will show you.
So that's a super octave.
Boss pedal. And this pedal is the one that I use on all of my bass recordings. So I take a drive. Here's like a knob, and the knob is set to drive. Right. The last one, and it makes like a sine wave, a distorted sine wave of a lower note. And when I play the bass, I always use it because it makes the bass. I don't use it very loud. It's very subtle. You probably even didn't notice that it's like that it's there, but these subtle changes that are made make the bass stand out, because the vanilla bass that's on the Stylophone is a bit it's a bit weak. So I must enhance it with this effect. And as I told you, there are no tricks. There are no tricks to make the sound better. It's just like an illusion.
Yeah, absolutely. We've all got our different kind of approaches, and you're not gonna just be able to play everything perfectly every time, So, everybody's got a bit of that magical element to their videos, where everything looks very pristine, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, well, no problem. I wanted to make a video. I probably make a video about it, how I actually record this. Here's like, the most like basic tips that I can come up like right now. And other stuff is like mostly, as you said and I said, my own personal like equalization, compression, delays, reverbs, and stuff like that to make it sound more authentic. You know, the hardest thing to equalize is the Stylophone beatbox, which sound horrible.
Yeah, it's got a lot of, yeah.
Yeah, and the samples are actually very hard to, you know, maneuver and make them sound better, because the samples there have like a high pitched
yes
frequency
I know what you're saying,
like 12k or 13 or 10k, and the first thing you have to do when you play anything on it, you search for this frequency and
just
cut
take it out.
like take it out completely. You can flesh out the other frequencies that are high to make up for it. But the first thing you have to do with this thing is to take out these high annoying frequencies, and then you have to manually shape the sound with an EQ. So my Stylophone beatbox may sound a bit different than most people's.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about your latest video, which at the time of recording is the 10 Easy Riffs on Stylophone video. It's one of two new videos that you've just released that take you in a slightly new direction in terms of more kind of educational content, yet keeping that Maro Maro vibe very much alive. What made you decide to show the world these riffs?
You know, I wanted to make something different, you know, because look, I've made like I don't know how much, about 100, maybe less, probably less covers, you know, of some songs, and you know there are like lots of them, lots of videos, lots of covers, lots of songs, lots of bands, lots of everything, you know. And you know, at some moment in time you're like, there's not much more that I can actually cover and have fun with it, you know, because, well, I probably like did everything that you can do with it pretty much. So like now I wanted to make some videos that are first of all a bit trying to be funny, at least, because you know I don't want yeah, thanks, because I don't want my videos to be, you know, like strict and like, you know,
dull.
Dull, yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Like I don't want them to be dull. I don't want them to be like lessons like, oh, take the Stylophone and play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, because you know it must be a bit entertaining to show some
Still
people.
Still got to have the watch time factor in mind, yeah.
Yeah, and like I want to talk about some funny things. I want to talk about, you know, how to actually play it, how I came up with it, how it will sound in different takes, you know. So explore all the possibilities, and it also gives me an opportunity to talk more in front of the camera, which is a very hard thing, because as you can clearly hear, I'm not so bad in talking in English, but I want to be better. I want to sound better. I'm probably all right, but I want to be better. You know, I want to speak better. I want to have a better vocabulary. I want to have a better at like
just
the moment.
Improving your fluency, yeah.
Yes, the fluency, because you know you think in English. You know, you can say everything you want, and it will be easier for you. And I think in like a Ponglish, like I think in Polish and in English at the same time. Making these videos is not only for the benefit of the channel. Well, it might be benefit, it might not be a benefit, but it's also for a benefit for me, because I must open myself up and learn how to speak in front of the camera properly, you know, because I usually have to write a script, you know, because without the script it gets like you know, and I just can't say it very fluently, you know. And after about 20 takes, it's okay. So yeah, it's mostly a thing that I'm working on it, and it's, you know, it's very hard actually for me to break out of this, you know, of my typical like not showing, not telling, not showing myself and not telling any words, because most of my covers are my hands. You see only my hands and props, and that's all.
Yeah. So you want to show more of yourself now.
Yeah, I want to show more of myself, talk about it, and show myself as a person that has some quirks, some stuff to say, and is trying to also make some fun content that's easy to watch, and it's like a bit educational and also easygoing. So entertaining, yeah. So even if a person doesn't maybe
want to play,
have a stylophone or want to play, they can see the entertaining values of it and maybe have a blast while watching it. And it gives me also possibilities to maybe try to be a bit on the like edge of the algorithm, because I can address things that are at the moment trending, like the Master of Puppets one, because Master of Puppets is like right now trending, and the Stranger Things got it like very big,
right?
And I wanted and I wanted to see how will it play. That's why I've made this like a pilot episodes to see if it plays well, and it's kind of cool. And the third thing, because there's always have to be more, lately I've been seeing that like talking podcasts, interviews, analyze videos, analytic videos of some subject or whatever that consists of talking about a subject is much more popular and easier to digest than music. The fact that because people are saying that MTV was bad because it wasn't playing music, it was playing shows that were like Date My Mom or
reality shows,
like that. Reality shows, And actually the problem was that MTV got broke because they played music, and because music is such a subjective topic that when a song plays and you like this song, you will watch it. But when another song comes and like you don't like this song, then you will stop watching. You change the channel, and that's the worst thing that can happen. That can happen to a TV station or a YouTube channel, that somebody changes the channel. So that's why I think that many people benefit from talking about something like like talking about lessons on stylophones even. Because it's more digestible than just playing the stylophone, and it's like a cool thing that you can watch 1-2 videos, but after the 5th video, like, man, how much can you take? So I think that's like my thought process on this.
That's very smart. Very smart. You put a lot of research into it, clearly, and
I
excited
always
to
have
see
to
this
do
new
it.
direction for you, definitely. So I want to talk about this really interesting project that you worked on about a year ago. You based a video around it as well. In fact, I think you based 2 videos around it, and you very cleverly sort of joined them together. And it was this online interactive stylophone.
Okay.
Where did that idea come from?
This guy, the Amos Doll Music again, had a video on his YouTube channel that's called Virtual Keyboard. And it was, just a keyboard. You press buttons and you can play it. Nothing more, nothing less. But I thought that maybe I will do the same thing with a stylophone, but on a minor scale, not a major scale, because the stylophone, as you look at it, it's more of a minor scale than a major scale, actually, because it starts with, if you would name the notes, normally, then it starts from A, so it's like A, B, C, D, and like that, so the stylophone is actually on the minor scale here, so I made it like a minor scale, and so this guy inspired me to steal from him another idea.
Very
but
cool.
I saw that there are many YouTube videos that have like virtual other instruments that you can play on,
Really?
not only like you can write even
go down that
yourself.
rabbit hole at some point.
It's a very, very strange rabbit hole, but there are like virtual guitars, virtual, I don't know, harps, virtual whatever. Think of an instrument, write in YouTube like virtual whatever, and you will like see it. Interactive virtual whatever. Try it.
I wanted to talk about a little bit more about the other things that you do, because you've got your YouTube channel, but as you were saying at the start, you sort of work as a producer and session musician. You tour as well. You've just come back from a long tour, and you've also managed to add some Stylophone to some of the projects that you've worked on for others as well. Can you tell us more about your work with, is it Popek?
Yeah, Popek.
On Yukptak? How do I pronounce that?
Yukptak.
Yukptak.
Like a bird.
And also Człowiek w masce, is that how I say it?
Człowiek w masce.
There we go.
Yeah, because in English it's like jak ptak, it's like a bird. And człowiek w masce is man in a mask or something like that. It's a funny thing because actually it may be even closer to you than you think, because I will tell about Czerwone Gitary first, because this is the band that I play in, and this is the band that
plucked you from poverty to stability.
Yes, from poverty. This band made me get from poverty to stability, and actually this is one of the, like, I can call them a legendary band from Poland, because they last about 58 years, I think. It's like they are playing like their formation was in 65, I think, or something like that. So it's like they were considered the Polish Beatles, actually.
Right.
So it's like, that's why I told you that's like closer home to you, actually, because this is like a band that's these guys were in their youth inspired by the Beatles and made similar songs like them, but with Polish lyrics and in the Polish more traditional style, but with the big beat sound and stuff like that. And they were like the precursors of actual pop music in Poland, but in the old ways, like rock and roll, and as I called you, big beat and stuff like the Beatles did.
Right.
And I've got a opportunity to play there because I've got a call from Jurek, the guy that plays drums there, because like this banded some years ago, and they're like different musicians there, but the drummer is the same, so like Ringo is the same. And I got a call from him to just come to a rehearsal, see if I fit there and stuff. And it was very hard. I had to work very hard to actually prepare for the rehearsal and to show myself in a good way. And I
from
somehow
the YouTube channel as well. Was that another opportunity?
Yes, it was an opportunity because of the fact that I recorded some albums on my own.
Okay, cool.
My friend who was on a rehearsal there showed my albums to the drummer, the original drummer of the band. Right. And he listened to them and told him that give me his number and we will check if he will, if he will play. Okay. And that's how it started. And, I've played like lots of gigs with them because, they are like especially in the summer, they're like a touring band for most of the time. So in the happier years, I can say, because the pandemic like broke everything down.
Yes, yeah.
And in the happier years, we had like, I don't know, between 50 and 100 concerts a year. So it was like a cool number of gigs, a cool way to live. So it was like very profitable. And then the pandemic hit, and like from 50 concerts it was 0, or I don't know, maybe not 0, but like 5 or 3 or 4, and you have like a whole year to live from these concerts. But that's the part when Stylophones come and YouTube comes.
Yes.
So actually,
that gap in nicely.
Like they fill in the gap like perfectly. Some people that have played in like bigger bands may have some income from song royalties and stuff like that, but I don't have any songs in Czerwone Gitary because I'm a guy that just it's like a session musician most of the time on the gigs and
Yeah,
not
you're
a
not the
composer
actual-
there.
Yeah. Mhm.
But it's also very cool. And, that's why when the pandemic hit, the YouTube, as you told, got very, very, fill in that gap because,
Mhm.
otherwise I would have to, go work somewhere else and probably my
Yeah.
music career would have a very big halt
Abrupt
in that
end, yeah.
moment. And the thing with Popek, the thing with Popek was that I told you earlier that I've made a video about one of a cover of a project that he was in and had, and again, the project was called Gang Albanii, and I did a cover of it, as I told you earlier.
Mhm.
And Popek's producer, both producers actually, because there are two different guys. One of them made some songs with me and him, but online, and the other one was making songs with him, and he made me meet Popek, like
Right.
meet in person. And Popek was at that moment a very big star in Poland. He was like
Right.
one of the most popular people here. Like everybody knew who he was because he was so distinguishable. He wasn't like much of a singer, but he was a persona. He was like a type of a guy that like started from scrap. Like started from totally nothing.
Right.
And ended up like, Michael Jackson, something like that, like a very big icon, Popek was like, for me, the last remaining punk rocker ever living and actually rapping, not screaming. So I challenged him to make a album that's more about singing and lyrics and, like your own freedom, like working in, a harsh environment, whatever, topics that are mostly, people deal with them on a daily basis like that, and Jak Ptak, which means like a bird, is a song about, having dreams about being, free, like being a person that thinks a bit differently, but you are like strictly in this space of this reality. And like the second song, which is Człowiek w masce, is a song about, because these both songs have stylophone in them. That's like the fun part. That's why we are talking about them. Yeah, they both have stylophones. The Człowiek w masce has Gen X1 and Jak Ptak has the S1. And the Człowiek w masce is about people that, hide their true self behind a mask. Simple as that. So yeah.
Interesting.
Cool times, and we had fun recording these songs.
Was it like a quite deliberate choice to have Stylophone on those two songs, or was it just like, yeah?
Yes, it was like a deliberate choice because I needed an instrument that sounds like this and that has functions like this, like the song Like a Bird, Jak Ptak.
Right.
Like the Stylophone had this fun little attitude with it, so I thought that it's a great instrument to include it. And the Gen X1 in Człowiek w masce was because it had the filter function, so I could play the riff and like sweep the filter to make it sound more lively. Yeah, that's the whole reason.
Nice. I wanted to talk about some of your own music now. You recently released an album called What Remains.
Yeah.
There's like a huge mixture of stuff. There's like some Latin guitar, some hip hop, some rock, and some stylophone in there too. At least one of the tracks I think has it. Is it Flower Shirt?
Yes, and Polonaise.
Right, another one there. Okay. What was like the inspiration behind this particular record?
Well, the inspiration was kind of simple because I was just recording songs that were on my computer for a long time. And I wanted to finish them, and that's the main inspiration because they were lying for like 5 years, and I was listening to them. Marta was listening to them, and we were like, she was like, "Come on, release a album, We've got like so many songs," and I was like, it's not finished, not good, the typical, talk, And well, I finally managed to finish it. Actually, as we know, there is like. On the east side of Polish border, there's actually, a war going on nowadays. And the war broke loose actually in the moment, different. It was like when the war broke loose, I was like very traumatized by the whole, thing. I was very like afraid that it could, get to us, that it could be even a worse thing that it already is, because it's really the worst. And I had like a thought that, well, if something happens like to Poland, because Poland is like, we can say next in line, so if something happens to us, to Poland and to the whole country, then like the only thing that I can do is release an album, and this is like the thing that will remain, so that's why it's what remains, so it's like a bit of a sad topic. And it's very experimental because it's like instrumental. It has some beats, as you told, some Latin guitar and stuff like that. And it's like my way of, it's, as we told earlier, this is like the freedom, this is like my own freedom that I want to express myself. And and it sounds like this.
Cool. Well, I enjoyed it very much, actually. I'm gonna
thank you
listen to it some more.
Yeah, you can. It's good for some cleaning the house, driving, stuff like that. It's like a background music. It's an ambient album, actually. Ambient.
For sure, I definitely see it in that category, for sure, yeah. Cool. So we move on to the portion of the podcast that I think guests tend to fear the most, but don't be afraid.
No, I like challenges. Come on, I did a poor rendition of Megalovania Undertale, so I think that nothing worse can happen to me today.
Yeah, and I mean, you're the dual stylophonist, so what else could possibly be harder than that? Okay, your time starts.
Start.
Now.
Okay.
Stop. Right.
Yeah, because I saw that the Master of Puppets, the one I did earlier.
You win! Congratulations! You are inducted into the Sound of Stylus Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because it was like I saw the octave, and the second one was a half step down, and the next one was another half step down, and this is when I knew that it was Master of Puppets, because I remember the emotion of, I like challenges like this because it takes you on the edge,
Good.
Cool.
I try not to give you something completely unfamiliar, otherwise it would be unfair.
I actually, next time, give me a harder one. Because
maybe we'll have to do it again sometime. Nice. So we've talked about lots of different things in this episode, which is wonderful. I just wanted to know, what do you think is coming up for you? What's next for Maro Maro 1337, the channel? You've released some covers before on Spotify. You've released a few original albums. Any more Stylophone related albums or live shows or anything, or hints about upcoming videos you could share with us, perhaps?
Yes, I can share a few hints. Like my first of all, I will practice and have more talking videos, presenting some songs, some ideas, and maybe talk about it even more to some extent. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Just make fun and make some fun content. But my biggest idea now, and I think that saying it showing it right now and not making it a surprise is actually a better thing, because I'm really bad at surprises, and actually I think that YouTube and the algorithm is not a friend of surprises. It usually likes when it's set in stone. I'm planning on making an EP or like a small album. The idea of the Stylophone versus something, so I'm making a song that's played on the Stylophone, but it's in the style of some other artist, and the lyrics are there, the riffs are there, the idea
the videos
is there,
that you're making.
Yes. So I'm making it a step higher, as always, because you have to up the game. And now I'm planning to release a small album, as I've told, of songs that are like System of a Down songs, more than one. I think that 5, 6, but these are my songs because
Right.
I don't know if you are like familiar with the history of this band, because I was like a fanboy.
Okay.
So this band has disbanded like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something like that, and there are all the time rumors about a new album, a new tour, and something like that. And the touring went on actually, but they didn't release any album because like I think that they just don't have like the glue together to make something new, and they just stated that, well, let's just make our own songs, every one of us, and play the gigs and just end on that and not make some crappy album. And I want to be the one that makes this album,
Right.
in like my own Stylophone vision and like that. And I want to see if maybe some people will find it interesting, maybe the band itself will find it interesting. So that's like my idea for a new full-length video, because it will be like a longer video with the whole album. And I want to include a bonus there, and I want to make like the half of the video will be the Stylophone video covers with lyrics, stuff and all, and the ending of the video will be the same songs but played on real instruments, made by me and stuff like that. And the version will be like more of a sing-along that you can, if you like my interpretations of their style and their songs, you can actually download it and sing it and have fun with it. So it's like I want to make it an interactive, fun experience for the people that view it. And I'm like, in the back of my head somewhere, I'm like very quietly hoping that maybe one of the guys from the band will listen to it and will like say, maybe I will sing to it just for for the lulz or something like that. Like I'm always having like a thought that there's like the good scenario and the scenario that usually happens, which is like whatever. So I'm usually at this whatever state that's like, whatever, let's just make a video, have fun, and and wrap it up. So yeah, this is like my main thought here. Just just make videos, have fun with it, and don't think about the outcome, because the outcome on YouTube is always totally opposite of the way that you will actually perceive it. So for me, it's like my whole life is like this. It's like all the time, my most popular videos, my most popular works, my most popular things I ever did are the ones that maybe not I despise the most, but are the ones that weren't the highlights of my like work or anything like that, for me at least. But when like people like it, when it earns its money, and when everybody's happy, then I'm fine with that, just like that.
Well, you're a very ambitious person, and I've only got more of that from speaking to you today. So I'm very excited to see whatever you get up to next, not just what you've talked about, but after that too.
Me too.
And thank you so much for coming to speak with me on Sound of Stylus. It's been such a pleasure.
Cool. Yeah, no problem.
If you're interested in finding out more about Marek, you can find him on YouTube at youtube.com/Maro Maro 1337, and his music's available on all major music platforms as Maro Maro and Maro Maro 1337. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world if you could give the podcast a 5-star rating and share the episode on social media, tagging me at Mari Dangerfield and the podcast at Sound of Stylus. You can find us on Instagram at Sound of Stylus and on YouTube by searching Sound of Stylus. Thank you so much for listening to Series 1 of Sound of Stylus. If you have any suggestions of who I could feature on a future series, or if you're interested in featuring yourself, do get in touch on social media.